Thank you so much, Pastor Eric. The first time in your church, and it's amazing. The service this morning was truly anointed because it shared a message that I'm very passionate about personally, right? Not just at the vocational level. All right. I titled this "Don't Get Scammed" because that's the heart and the passion that I want to bring to you. Because I've seen and I've met too many people. Okay. I've met too many and I've been with too many people who have been scammed, and it's very heartbreaking, right? From young people all the way to the elderly. All right, I'll share how young people get scammed, right? I saw a lot of young people in this church, and I wish that none of them will get scammed, okay? All right, so this was the message from this morning. It really touched me, all right? In fact, I've been looking for this, just do it from the Bible. And so Pastor Alex, he gave me this download, right? He spoke to me this morning, right? I didn't know it actually existed. I thought it was Nike's slogan all this time, right? I keep saying it's Nike's slogan, but now I can say, no, it's not Nike's slogan, it's our Bible, all right? And it gives me a chance, a segue to insert some Bible verses into the talk as well. Okay, so truly, I truly enjoyed that. I was in Microsoft Malaysia for 15 years, but I was not a cybersecurity specialist. In fact, I was, you can say, just being obedient to the management of the company. In the year 2000, Microsoft technology was very badly attacked by hackers. There was a virus that was very fierce. Around the world, millions of customers were affected. So they needed someone to stand in front of a group of people like you, mainly the C-level people, the CIOs, the CTOs. They wanted someone to be able to handle the wrath of the customer because the customers were very angry. Why their systems were locked out and so forth. So they needed some, you can say, scapegoat, right, to be up here as like a sacrificial lamb, if you want, for the company. But of course, in accepting the role, all right, or accepting that hat, I call it, the company sent me all over for training to India, to China, Singapore, and so forth. So, but 12 years ago, I left and I started on my own. So the term technopreneur, if you want, is someone who combines technology and entrepreneurship. Okay, basically combining the two together. So I managed to get that to work. All right. In fact, some of my ex-Microsoft colleagues, they are very curious how I was able to do it. So it also gives me a chance to preach Christ to them, because many of them are not Christians, right? So as I mentioned, I titled it "Don't Get Scammed." All right, but I'm going to teach you a skill today. Some of you may not have heard of this word called AI, but I use it a lot to prevent scams. So I'm going to teach you how to use AI to prevent scams. And it's very easy to do. Very, very easy to do, okay? So in all my talks, right, I believe that we need to keep people involved, all right, and informed. So more than just the knowledge that you get, all right, if any of you have any burning questions that you want to ask, please stop me, okay? If you don't want to ask during the session, you can catch me afterwards. I don't mind staying on, all right, to answer more Q&A if required, because some people are shy. They don't want to stand in front of a group of people, all right. I also like to keep people interested. So I've got a lot of videos in this session. A few weeks ago, I actually spoke in 2 cell groups. They came together in a home, right? And that itself was a testimony, because what happened was the morning of that talk, the organizer of that session contacted me and says, how are you planning to present your session? I said, PowerPoint. So he says, you'll be using a computer. I said, yes, I'll be using a computer. So he said, how are you going to project your content? That's where I knew something was not right already. When people ask questions like that, right, on the day of the presentation, right, asking what we call in the world of the presentations and information sharing, When people ask how it's going to be done, you know something is not right. So he then asked me, do you need a projector? I'm like, well, if you ask me whether I need a projector, then what am I supposed to say? I said, TV also can, all right? He says, but this home got no TV, only upstairs. But upstairs cannot fit 30 to 40 people. So I knew there was a problem already. So he says, any chance you can get hold of a projector? I was thinking 2 weeks ago, if you asked me that question, it would have been very good. On the day itself, asking me that question puts me in a spot. Okay, I have to bring my own projector. So I said to myself, never mind. Let's not worry about that. I'll pray. Truly, I prayed. And then I asked this person, can you pray as well? Because I'm not sure if I can get a projector on the same day I'm supposed to do the session. Just imagine I come in here, no projector, no screen. All right, within 2 hours, I have to get everything ready, right? So a partner contacted me 2 hours. And by the way, this is the same thing if a scammer rings you up. Don't talk to the scammer, you pray. In fact, you pray into the phone and the scammer will run away. You know why? It's a spiritual attack. Thank God the answer was no. Because if they did, there'd be 2 scams. The Along will scam you as well. Okay, so that's the dangerous part. So what I've done is, in the new series of slides, God inspired me to put some Bible verses into them. These verses are supposed to speak to those particular situations, all right, and for us to be able to help get through some of the situations, and for you to minister to others as well. If you meet believers or non-believers who've been scammed, you can use these Bible verses. Like this particularly speaks to me, the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. Truly, the scammers are doing that. They are agents of the evil one, right? Don't for one think that it is human, right? It's more than human. I know this for a fact because every time I do a talks like this, I get spiritual attacks. The last one was a sciatica. How many of you know what is sciatica? Okay, sciatica is a nerve that runs from this side to this side, on this and this. The last one was on the right side, the one before was on the left side, and both a few days before the session. Now, what does the evil one want to do, right? It wants to immobilize me so I cannot do the talk. Right? Thank God this session I was covered, I was prepared. Every day when I do my quiet time in the morning, I have to pray for the talk and so forth. Okay? And this is also particularly true. Some of them will come to you and say, I can teach you how to invest. You trust me. I will teach you. For the first 3 to 6 months, that's exactly what they do, to gain your trust. And after they've gained your trust, then they will ask you to invest. They say, don't worry, just start with 100 ringgit. And then 100 ringgit become 100 ringgit, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. That's how this couple got scammed 700,000. It didn't happen in one sitting. Happened in 6 months. Now, just tell me how patient the scammers are. They are truly very patient people. They'll wait and wait until, so they dress up in that sheep clothing, right? And slowly but surely they gain your trust, and that's where you will part with everything. And that's same with love scam. Okay? Those of you who have never heard of love scam, basically they come into your WhatsApp or they come into your Instagram, all right, very innocuously innocent, pretending to just accidentally send you a message and say, oh, by any chance you're so and so. The minute you reply, that's where you're going to get it already. Don't reply. Any messages that you don't know, not in your contact, whether it's a phone call or WhatsApp message or SMS, don't reply. Okay, those are some of the things, okay? And of course, the other one that I want you to remember is, whenever you get people who are scammed, right, I want you to think of this Bible verse. Luke 23, verse 34. Jesus spoke while on the cross, showing unimaginable forgiveness and love, even in the face of immense suffering. It teaches us the power of grace and compassion, even towards those who may harm us. Truly, the scammers want to harm us in one way or another. I know people who even committed suicide because of scam. If those of you want to watch a movie on YouTube, there's one called Beekeeper. All right, it talks about this lady who lost money, massive amount of money that she was entrusted to look after, and because she lost it to scammers, she committed suicide. All right? You may think that is Hollywood, but in real life, that also happens. Okay, so we have to be very, very careful. Okay? So let me show you this video. This is, to me, a celebration, right? I'll explain why a celebration.
Last year, an insider infiltrated a pig butchering scam in Dubai. But little did I know that the video I'd produce on this would result in the largest arrest of scammers in any one location in the world. The people sitting on the ground here with their arms in cable ties are 2,000 plus scammers. This footage was taken from a neighbouring building at the Rahaba residences where they worked. The group here in their underwear are the ringleaders. These are the Chinese gang members who set up the call centre to target almost every country you can imagine. The raid was so large it required a huge number of resources. Not only were the police involved, but there needed to be ambulances, very many buses and medical staff around. The majority of the scammers were from North Africa or Asia, and very many of them were deported straight after this raid.
Okay, I will show you a little bit more after. I just want to take note of this, Dubai. How many of you know that Dubai is becoming the largest scam country in the world? Even bigger than Myanmar and all the others. Can any of you imagine why? Why would a country like Dubai, right, or city like Dubai become such a massive, right? When you start to think and analyze it more and more, you soon realize because in those countries, right, transferring money, millions of dollars in and out is very normal, right? These are countries where there's a lot of oil, right? A lot of wealth being transferred in and out. And these scammers literally make millions every day from scamming. The big money that they get, right, is what the biggest attraction is. And this is also what is getting our young people. So it's very important for us to not allow our young people to fall prey. Now, just to tell you, one of the most common advertisements to attract our young people, especially with high unemployment, when the economy goes down, our young people, even when they are graduates, will find difficulty getting work, correct? So what will happen if you see an ad on Facebook that says, very easy work for 4,000 to 5,000 US dollars, copy and paste only required. Okay, for 4,000 to 5,000, all right, US dollars a month for very easy work, copy and paste only. Okay, and relocation funds are provided. Okay, now this is the ads that they were putting into Facebook to trick people to go to Thailand, and then they get kidnapped and smuggled across to Myanmar. Now, what is copy and paste? What do you think copy and paste means? It's actually in this video, right? See, the scammers, when they trick you to become a scammer, right, they'll force you to sit in front of a computer. They give you a list of phone numbers, and literally you just need to copy all the messages that the scammers want to send to their victims and paste it into the user interface, like a WhatsApp user interface with all these phone numbers. You just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So anyone can do, literally. So it's very easy work. They pay you good money. So that's why later I'll show you why some of these people who are rescued from the scam factories, we call them, they are call centers where thousands of these scammers work and live. They come back here and then they go back. Okay, I'll explain why they go back. Right? There's a very sad reason behind that. Right? If they belong to a church like this, they will never go back. But because they don't, most of them don't have family that welcomes them back. Okay? So we can celebrate this win. That's the first thing, right? In what we were taught, right, we need to cover the good, the bad, the ugly. You saw the good. We got hold of a lot. In fact, this is probably the biggest arrest in the world ever in the last decades. Now, some of you may have received something that looks like this. This actually came into my phone recently, right? The Truecaller app on my phone picked it up. It told me that it's an investment scam number. Okay, so this is a free app you can download onto your phone. It's called Truecaller. Right, Truecaller does need access to go out to the internet. all right? Because they have Truecaller servers that pick up all the latest databases of scam numbers and so forth, okay? The scam database. The other aspect is you have to register to go in, but there's no need to pay. All the free services are more than enough for you, okay? Now, the worst part about this is, in the past, it used to be mobile numbers. Now they are starting to use landline numbers. Now, you must be wondering, right, these scammers, how do they mimic, all right, or scam normal landline numbers? They are constantly raising their bar in terms of technology to scam people. So don't for 1 minute take for granted that these scammers always use the same tactics. They don't. The word that we use a lot is called modus operandi, MO. Right? If you meet the police people now under CCID, the Commercial Crime Investigation Department, they use the word MO. That the scammers' MO is always changing. Okay, so that's something that we need to be aware of. So God's given me this very tedious thing to keep following the technology, keep following what the scammers are doing. But praise God, my work as a technopreneur also requires me to follow the technology every day. So how God pivots me from one to the other is easy, right? Because He knows what I enjoy doing, following the technology. So following what the scammers do is also easy. Right? Unless you're my spouse. My wife always complains, you're always looking at all these YouTube videos of how this scam happens, that scam happens. But you need to be protected. Okay, it's a very dark thing. Okay, a lot of scammers, especially from Africa, they use black magic. Okay, they'll pray over the victims, all right, by the witch doctors and so forth before they attack them. If they want you to listen to them without fighting back, they will use black magic to do it. Okay, so it's a very dark world. It's very, very dark, okay? This, by the way, I don't want you to be like this guy, yeah? Now, this is what happens when you pick up a call from a scammer. Some people think they can fight off the scammer. They can outsmart the scammer. But truly, that's yet to be seen. Because some people who knows about scamming, they have fallen prey to scammers. Because they are very smart people. If only they use their smartness for God's kingdom, we won't have this kind of problem. Many of them are so gravitated to money, greed. Okay, that's why we have this problem. So stay away from scam. So the Bible verse, if you want to take this, is flee from evil. All right, I think I put it in towards the end of this because I didn't have time to scan through the whole deck. The last session I did was last Tuesday, and this week has been very, very busy. So I apologize I didn't put in all the Bible verses. But shall we read this prayer together? Let's protect ourselves. Heavenly Father, we come before you today seeking your for your guidance. Help us navigate through the complexities of the online world. Temptation. Our minds and hearts from the schemes of those who seek to harm us. Use the internet responsibly and wisely, remaining vigilant and cautious. Always be mindful of our actions online and strive to create a safer digital environment for all. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. By the way, I have a confession. I did not write this prayer. It was written by AI. Now just think for a moment, when you were saying this prayer aloud, I'm sure at the back of your mind you didn't expect AI to be able to do it so fervently, right? Now, this is what AI can do. In fact, I was just reading an article. I didn't mean to get distracted during service this morning, but I saw something. right? What are the jobs that AI will displace? I'm sure that is probably at the back of your mind when I talk about AI, and you're thinking, why is Noel talking about AI? It's going to displace many of our young people. In fact, just this week, I was talking to the SIB schools for Myanmar refugees. We have many, many schools that we support, right? So guess what? They've come to me to teach them AI. Because many of these people were supposed to go to the US. And those of you who follow the global political scene, what's happening in the US with people like Trump? He's kicking out all the so-called immigrants, legal or illegal. So these people have lost all their hopes. I don't want these people to become victims of scam. This is what the scammers will target, because they are here as political refugees under the UN. All right? And many of them are doing work that they should not be doing. I want them to do good work. I want them to do God's kingdom work, not become a scammer, just to earn a living to put food on the table. Their living conditions are terrible, trust me. I actually visited one of them on Friday when I went to meet them. Okay? So hopefully through the work that we do, we will be able to reach out. And many of them are young people. So that's why when I saw the video just now, that group, the Metro group, I was very touched. Because these are the same kind of people that we even have in our own country. We don't have to go very far to have a mission field, just for your information. So in all my sessions, I hope the session inspires you and hopefully also ignite something in you that you want to do for your family, for your friends. Share the message broadly. I'm happy to give out all my content. Okay, I have no hesitation. In fact, when I first started doing my work 12 years ago, some of my closest business partners says, why do you give out your work in PowerPoint? All your content done in PowerPoint. Says, well, if I don't give out my work, how can I expect those who get to hear my messages share with other people? Now, you see how relevant that is, huh? You thought you go into work in the carnal world, right? But actually God wants you to use that beyond that for His work as well, okay? So hopefully this helps all of us take off like this rocket. Simply just by listening to God, praying, asking and seeking God to help you, okay? I believe it's very simple. How many of you do quiet time? Doesn't have to be in the morning. I do mine in the morning, but all right, I'm glad to see there's a handful of you who do, but I urge you to do it. Trust me, if I don't do my quiet time every day, I don't think I can stand here, right, and do this with you, all right? Because truly I get attacked a lot, right? I might be lying in bed already in pain, okay? So the point here is we are all not perfect, okay? When I saw this video, I remembered a verse that talked about God knowing every hair on our head, even when we are in our mother's womb. Most of the time we are like this. Okay, we are not perfect. Sometimes we are rounded, sometimes we are sharp with our tongue, with the way we treat others and so forth. But God knows how to deal with us. God is this almighty person that knows how to wrap us with a path that is perfect for us. So hopefully some of the messages speaks to you, and hopefully that empowers you to go forward to help others, including yourself. Sorry.
What is a scam? A scam is an attempt to get you to part with your money or information through deception. Scams are very common, more common than you might think. You'll probably be the target of a scam at some point, regardless of who you are or where you live. In fact, in 2012, scams and fraud cost the UK economy £72 billion, and Citizens Advice Bureau received over 22,000 calls about scams. It's why CAB, trading standards and public protection are so eager to raise awareness so we can effectively campaign against scams. Why are there so many scams, particularly mass marketing scams? Unfortunately for the general public, mass marketing scams can be a very low-risk crime to commit. The same text message, email or letter can be sent to thousands of different people in different places at the same time. Scams are massively underreported, and unlike a crime like burglary, scammers can be difficult to trace because they can operate across international borders. Scammers often work as part of large, criminal, international organisations, where a team of scammers try to convince you to part with your money. There are lots of different types of scams. Here's an example: a fake lottery. A common technique used is to persuade you to keep your contact with the scammer a secret. If you do respond to a scammer and part with your money, it won't end there. You'll soon be receiving emails, letters and telephone calls. Scammers don't care about who they target or when, and yes, they will ruin Christmas. It's always a good idea to talk to people before you part with money. Friends, family, the police, or the Citizens Advice Bureau. And if you are a target of a scam, whether you part with your money or not, do report it to the police through Action Fraud, or speak with the Citizens Advice Bureau.
Did any of you notice the date that was mentioned in this video? 2012, right? Can you imagine how long ago it was created, right? Probably created in 2013. So they're quoting statistics from 2012. That's how bad the scams were already back then. Now it's probably 10 times to 20 times worse. So the problem is getting worse and worse. So that's why in the world of scam, we have a term which I introduced in the slides called scamdemic. Okay, scamdemic. So what is scamdemic? Scam and pandemic gives us scamdemic. That's how bad the problem is. So it's a global problem. These are some common ones in Malaysia, right? So on the left side, you got fake or automated phone calls. Got post laju, mahkamah. I got one of these, all right, a few years ago. All right, LAGN, personal business tax scams. And on the other side, you got online, WhatsApp, email, SMS scams, all these and more. You're probably wondering why people have so much time to do this, right? Because they are professionals. It's their job to scam. It's organized crime. You get it? It's not people part-time, got nothing to do. After they spend 8 hours driving Grab, then they go and scam people. No, they are full-time scammers, right? So now you know why there's so much, right? Because they're always out there. You probably think scammers are very creative people, right? They don't have to be. Because they can buy their scam tricks from online. It's called the dark web. Okay? So if any of you want to know more, I can share more. All right? But I cannot teach you how to scam. Okay? No, I had someone come up to me and says, I want to learn how to do this. I said, learn how to do what? Let's be very clear. I said, I've got 2 things I will teach you. To stand here and speak to other people, that I gladly teach anyone who is interested. No, he says, no, that's not what I want. I want to learn how to become like that scammer you talk. I said, that we will never teach. Okay, so there's in my slide as well, just in case I don't have time, there's this group of people called the white hats, and there's a group that called the black hats, and there's a group called the gray hats. If you get there, I'll explain to you why. Okay, I cannot teach you how to scam. Okay, how many of you know at least one person that has been scammed? You don't have to put up your hand. You're not obliged to put up your hand if you don't want to. Okay. Some of my sessions, no one put up their hands, but I know they're too scared, too embarrassed, because they know that person, and it could be themselves. Okay, they didn't want to put up their hand. That's also okay, because there's a lot of shame. Right? I've noticed most of the time when the person gets scammed, they have a lot of shame. They are very embarrassed. That's why some people commit suicide. Okay, that's how serious the problem is. Now, the other poll that I wanted to ask is, these people that you know they've been scammed, how many of them are over 50 years young? A lot of them that I know are, all right? And why would scammers target people in that age group and above? They have savings, they got money. If they target the young people, they want the young people for a different purpose. But when they target the old people, they know that they have their EPF, they have investments, and they are probably trying to extend their savings so that they can ride through the tough times. I was talking to one guy who is an ex-CIO of one of my customers who live in Malacca. He says, I'm very sad. Why? I said, why are you sad? He says, my projected amount of savings that I have is not going to last as long as I'm going to live, he said. I said, good news, you think you're going to live for a long time? He says, yeah, it's both good and bad because I don't have enough money. Now, how would the scammer attack such an individual? Think about it, right? I know some of you probably think that's a very odd question to ask. I'm not a scammer, so how could I think like one? Remember I told you right at the beginning that I was put in the spot by management to stand in front of a group of people like you, but they are all CIOs and so forth. They train us to become hackers and scammers. To understand how a hacker and a scammer work, you have to be one. You understand what I'm saying? Not. Now just imagine if I'm not grounded on the word of Christ. What can I do with my skill, right? Right? I can be a scammer. You understand what I'm saying? Not. And probably a very good one too. Because the better you are at convincing people, the better a scammer you are. That's a trademark of a quality scammer. Okay, but I didn't do cybersecurity to start with. I'm actually trained as a chemist from Brisbane, Australia. And in my degree course, they taught us to be ethical with our knowledge. For those of you who understand chemistry, what can rook chemists do? I'm not talking about the chemists who dispense medication. We don't dispense medication. We are not pharmacists. We are chemists. Who do you think makes the atomic bomb? A chemist. Not a pharmacist. We make atomic bombs. We have the ability to blow ourselves up. And during uni, God already gave me a chance to blow myself up. Except that I didn't die. That's why I'm still here. Because there was one accident that was very serious. I blew up thousands of Aussie dollars worth of equipment. And within seconds, I was lying on the floor 6 feet away from the lab area that I was working on. And my ears were ringing non-stop. It's like you are in an explosion and you are knocked out momentarily, and all you see is stars going around, and your ears don't work anymore. And everyone from nearby, the lab assistants, everyone came running, thinking there was a bomb that exploded. But actually it was my experiment. See, my experiment was to make a precursor to a bomb, which I didn't realize. Right? And one of those days, I walk in after doing my part-time work till wee hours of the night, still half asleep, and doing my experiment. And you know what happened, right? So I almost got myself killed. See, God already told me, I need you to learn your lesson. Learn it very well. It has to be personal, otherwise you won't get it. Okay, so that's why he even sent the scammers to me, and I almost fell for it. And how I got woken up from it was, my wife rang me and says, where are you? We are waiting for you. So we were going to this place in Sekenjan where you can actually walk on water. There's like a sandbar. All right, I was sitting in a car, all right, just about to get out, and then this strange call came in. It was a Macau scam. It starts by immediately a recording. Ini mahkamah, blah, 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 blah. You have an outstanding summon. And I'm like, what? I have outstanding summon? Can it be so? Then I started listening. Then it says, press 1 for English. Press 1. Then someone with almost perfect Queen's English started to speak on the other side. I'm thinking, this is very weird. I didn't expect anyone from the courts to have such good English, right? Then my wife rings. Where are you? Oh, okay, come on. I said, can I bring you back? I hang up. I didn't even wait for a reply. I hang up and then I went off. I totally forgot about it. Right? Then my wife started to quiz me. Where were you? We're all waiting for you. The boat's about to leave already. I said, I got a very strange call. I'll tell you about it later. Right? But this is how they catch you. And it was a Sunday morning, believe it or not. Right? So that weekend, sadly, I missed church. All right? But this is what happens, right? You miss church, you're feeling guilty, all right? And then the scammer rings you, then double guilt, all right? You start to feel really, really beaten up inside already because I could still hear this court recording in my head long time after. But all of us may have encountered these scammers one way or another, but we don't remember. Okay, the most important thing is don't pick up. The lesson number one, any call from any number that you don't know, don't pick up. Now, I did this to a lot of talks already. One guy came up to me quite upset. He says, I'm in the real estate business. My number is plastered all over the whole, SS2 in PJ. How I don't pick up? If I don't pick up, I got no customer. What am I supposed to do? I said, well, two things you can do. If you have to pick up, don't say anything first. Let the person on the other side speak. Okay? Now, if this person is a genuine person interested in the property that you have put up, the person immediately will say, hey, I'm ringing regarding your property, blah, 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 blah. Can I view? I'm interested. Then you know that this is a genuine call. But if you start to hear a recording of Makama and all that, then you know it's not a genuine call. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let the person speak. Now, if you have doubts that this call potentially is a scam call, then ask the person for their number, you ring back. You never let the incoming call and tell anything about yourself to the person on the other side because you don't know. They may say, show up, caller ID, Maybank, caller ID, whatever. Don't trust any of these caller IDs because they're very easy in our world of hacking called spoofing. It's very easy to spoof the number, the name of that organization, so you don't trust that. Same goes for SMS. It can show up with some number, Maybank or whatever, don't trust that. If it asks you to click on a link, don't click. These are all scam messages, okay? So I've got a lot of all these, which I'll give to Pastor Eric after this. It talks through a number of different scams that target elderlies, not limited to American. It so happens that I picked up, and by the way, the link don't work anymore because they expired the links. So thank God I have a recording, right? I recorded the website, right? This is the recording. Soon enough, you see the thing moving by itself, okay? That's it. Oops, sorry. For some reason, my computer is a bit slow today. Let's see. There you go. You see, it's a recording, right? So it's playing by itself already. Okay? So you can go through it slowly in your own time, all right? So there are many types of scams. The amount of scams is just sometimes heartbreaking and sickening because it seems like people have more time to spend in trying to cheat others. That's why I say the evil one comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Truly, it's becoming fiercer and fiercer. Right? 2 years ago, I thought it was bad. Now it's worse, many times worse. I can't even keep up with all of these. Okay, so I just summarize it into 4 slides. There's now very, very common AI-powered scams. Now, what are AI-powered scams? If they can get hold of 1 or 2 pictures of you and some voice recording of you, they can create a video that you won't believe that it's not yourself. I have some videos in there made by CNA. How many of you know CNA? The news network in Singapore. Okay, there's this guy that's been going around interviewing people, recording them, and then within half an hour, 45 minutes, they create a deepfake video of that person. Right? I have it in there, but we might not have time to view it, but I'll leave it with Pastor Eric. Okay? So there's so many of these scams. It's not so important that you know all the scams. You never know all the scams. Even when I try to do as much as I can in my own time, I cannot pick up all the scams. But I want to teach you a framework. All right, in the world of IT, we talk about frameworks. All right, how to determine them. All right, I call it red flags. Right, simple red flags. Okay, so what is a red flag? Situation or condition that can indicate fraud, waste, or abuse of resources. Okay, so even KWSP, if you look at their website, right, they actually teach you how to identify red flags to watch out for scams. Okay, so I've recorded it as well, just in case KWSP takes the page down. It's a very good page. All right. For those of you who do research a lot, you can use this technique. Record what you get, right? Because remember I told you I did chemistry, right? So what do we need to do? Submit lots and lots of reports, investigation reports and all that. Then I discovered that God prepared me for this because He wanted me to learn how to do investigations. Right? Back then was just chemicals. Now it's about people's lives and scams. Okay? So how can we understand red flags? Okay, let's get down to it. Okay? One of the things that you will discover is when you are very close to a scam or the scam is just at your doorstep. One of the things is you must not panic. Sometimes we panic, and when we panic, we allow the evil one to stop us from doing the obvious. What is the obvious for people like us who follow Christ? We pray. Only prayers can break those spells, right? If the evil one is the one targeting you. Okay? Now, these are important numbers. 997, sadly, is only 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. There are many groups of people lobbying them to make it 24 hours because scams happen at all times of the day and night. Okay, so it's no reason why they should only limit it to that. Now, some of you probably think, what a waste of time filing a police report. How many of you know that people that have been scammed file a police report? Okay. And why they want you to file a police report within 24 hours? Now, this is news directly from my friend who is a deputy director of CCID. CCID is the Commercial Crime Investigation Department under PDRM. Okay, these are her exact words. If a scammer, or rather if a scam victim reports it within 24 hours, we will have the best chance to monitor the mule bank accounts that this individual has remitted money to and follow the trail of the money. Okay, let me repeat that. If the report is filed within 24 hours, it gives us the best chance to monitor the mule bank account. I'll explain those terms to you shortly. Right, to follow the trail of money. Right, so what happens is when you remit money, that means you bang in money to the scammer. Most of the time you are an innocent victim. You don't know that you're banking into a scammer's mule account. The term mule account is not like Jesus riding on a mule into Jerusalem. This is a mule, essentially a dumb animal. Right? So someone actually rents out their bank account to a scammer to be used as an intermediary bank account so that victims transfer money into that account, and because they give access of those accounts to the scammers then transfer the money out normally within 10 to 15 minutes after you put the money in. And they will hop the money a number of times before they either convert it into cryptocurrency or they transfer it outside of the country. And once it's outside the country or it's into cryptocurrency, game over. The Malaysian authorities have no more control over that. Why cryptocurrency no control? Anyone knows? It's not regulated by Bank Negara. Any bank in Malaysia will be regulated by Bank Negara. Bank Negara has given our police force authority to monitor and freeze the bank accounts. So if you comply with the requirements of CCID or you listen to the advice of CCID, you give them the best chance to follow the money, and upon the successful investigation, which normally lasts at least 12 to 18 months, they will return as much money as they have recovered to you if you are a victim. But if you don't even report, you won't get anything. That's for sure. You understand what I'm saying or not? So make the police report. Now, even this lady told me, a lot of times the victims go to police, they feel very intimidated. And many a time the officers are very non-sympathetic or empathetic. Why? Because they get hundreds of reports a day. Now just imagine this, you are a police officer sitting at the front, there's let's say 2 or 3 of them, and every day, not people with accidents come in, scams, problems come in, every day, hundreds of them. Would you get sick of that? So, I don't know about you, I would. I'd rather sit at home and watch Netflix or YouTube videos of scams rather than sitting hearing people. And some of these people are very angry and very frustrated. So not only they are angry and frustrated, some of them are bitter. Right? I know one guy that was from my men ministry group in SIB. He's so bitter about his loss. Every day he rings the police officer, every day. And you know what my what they call the deputy director, CCID lady told me? No wonder my officers are all burning out. All it takes is a few of these demanding victims ringing the police officers every day for updates. But you know, they cannot reveal investigation outcomes. Not until the investigation closes, correct? But these people are demanding to know. And not only that, tell me who are the other people who have been victimized. We want to form a group. What do you expect the police officer to say? Here you go, these are 10 others. Of course not. So just to advise you, when you go to the police to file a report, don't expect those kind of results and outcome. Not days, not weeks, not months. Maybe after a year or 2. Okay? Because there are people with vary, and this lady asked me to share that in my sharing. Because a lot of people actually bang tables and they're upset. They're very upset. Okay? So this is one scam that we've been seeing going around. Okay? So it says something like this, your 5,480 bonus points expire today. Go and redeem various New Year exclusive gifts. How many bang the CIMB? Just a handful. If you get a message like this, would you take it seriously? I hope not. Even if you bang with CIMB, right? I don't bang with CIMB, so I didn't take it very seriously when it came in. Okay? Now, where are the red flags? Another one. Okay? Credit Card Center reminds you that due to your good credit card usage record, your credit limit will be increased. Have you seen such messages before? You have, huh? But if you see something with a link like this, it's a scam. Okay, they will never send you a link like this. If they really wanted to give you more credit, they will ask you to go to the branch. They will never offer it through online in this manner. Okay, that's what all the banks tell people. But of course, the one that really want that 50,000, they will click without even thinking twice. Okay, so let's have a look. Where are the red flags? Number 1, number 2. Why here? Why is this area a red flag? They're trying to get you to urgently respond, get you excited. So excited that you forget to pray, you forget to seek God first, all right? And then you decide that you want to click on this because you want the exclusive gifts. Okay? That's the modus operandi, by the way. They want to get you excited. So excited that you forget. Right? Okay. So what is this link, right? Let me take you through understanding the basics, because I know a lot of people are not familiar with the basics.
Malaysia is facing escalating AI-driven fraud attempts, driven by the surge in deepfakes. The number and quality of deepfakes is increasing.
How is your flight? Are you coming home?
Mom, I lost my wallet and bank cards. I made a police report, so I missed my flight.
为什么会这样 Are you okay?
Girl, is your passport with you?
Yes, I still got my passport, but I can't come back home because I don't have money. Pa, can you transfer me some money?
Don't worry, 爸爸转给你。
But how to transfer you the money?
Don't worry, Ma. I'm with my classmate. You can just transfer to her account.
OK，爸爸转500给你。
Pa, 500 哪里够? Give me 5,000. I'll pay back you later.
传啦
Fine, just send me the account number.
Thanks, Pa. You're the best. 爱你深深。
快点转给他，来。
爸妈，I'm home。
爸，钱转了没 ？I wanna go home.
Is that my voice?
This was propagated by one of the mobile phone manufacturers. I thought that was very effective in terms of highlighting AI scams. Right now, this younger lady had her picture and probably voice somehow scammed. Okay, and that's how the scammers can actually create such a real AI recording. Okay, now those of you who know people who share regularly on Facebook or social media, this is a very good video to show them. Okay, now my wife likes traveling. Right, recently she was in South America for 3 weeks. Right now, if a scammer has befriended her on Facebook, they will know that she's away in South America. Why? On a daily basis, she will upload her pictures to Facebook. Now, if you don't believe me, all right, for those of you who have Facebook, can you check through all your friends and can you verify that they're all real? Most of the time, people cannot because they got too many. Right? And if you ask them, they will get defensive. They say, why should I check through? Now, scammers try to befriend you and start monitoring you through those avenues. And once they see you posting things that shows that you are away, the information they collect from your Facebook and so forth will be used to scam your friends. They can see who are the people in your contact. That's the target. So a lot of times, as victims to scam, we are the one giving all that information away to the scammers. Because many a time, victims will claim that I didn't give anything away. I didn't do anything. I'm innocent. Well, I'm sure you're innocent from the perspective that you're a victim, but you're not innocent in terms of giving the information to the scammer to scam you. Because unknown to you, the scammers are very smart people. They know where to get your data. Because they said, I didn't give my phone number to them. How did they get my number? I didn't give my email to them. How did they get my email? It's from all of these sites that you've been posting liberally. That's what I'm saying. Not. The other possibility is one of your friends' WhatsApp got scammed. So from there, they got your contact. And through that contact, they are scamming you now. Not just as this person who got scammed, but also others. Now, recently, I heard that in the church circle, some pastors got scammed. They were pulled into a group, a WhatsApp group, saying that there was a prayer chain going around. So all these pastors who sadly got scammed they allowed themselves to be part of the group. Instead of exiting immediately, they joined the group and they participated in that. And more data got stolen in the process. Do you understand what I'm saying now? If you by accident get added to a group, right, just exit. Delete that group away. So it don't in any way incite you to do anything that you don't want to. Because they can say things that suddenly you become interested. Maybe you forgot you joined such a group. Okay? So these are the things that you need to think about. Okay, let's have a look at the link again. Right? That was just a video intermission, by the way. Just to wake you up, just in case you kind of disconnected for a minute. Okay, this is a very strange link, isn't it? What is a normal link you think that belongs to CIMB? Those of you who bank with CIMB, maybe this looks more real. Okay, now what's the difference between this one and this one? Both have the word CIMB. In fact, this one they even double down on the name CIMB. They just want to make sure at the start and the end they have the name CIMB so that you can't mistake it for anything else. Interesting, how the hacker thinks, right? Or the scammer. They want you to remember this more than once. But the real CIMB, they only use it once. So what is this .my? Anyone can tell me? Malaysia. What is Singapore? .sg. India? .in. All right, ID is Indonesia. All right, so and so on and so on. .au for Australia, .nz for New Zealand, and so on. .com normally is for commercial entities like companies, and then of course CMB, World Wide Web. So this is standard namespace for what we call the URL. Okay, when you want to go on the browser to go out to the internet, this is a URL, and this particular one will take you to English language personal home page. That's it. But you look at the one up the top. What is this .res? You can do a search. If any of you are on ChatGPT or on Copilot, Gemini, whatever it is, do a search. What is .res? There's so many of these domain namespaces that appeared in the last several years. And many of them belong to all these scammers, sadly. So the minute you see something that is not .com.mi, you have to be very cautious already. This is a red flag. You don't even need to look at the rest. Okay? So these are some of the things you can take very quickly to avoid, how to say, running into the trap of the scammer. Remember that buffalo poking at that rock, the log on the ground? Now, this is exactly this. The minute you poke at it, right, you start to realize that this will become that crocodile that will snap you up. Okay? So there's so many I've collected over the, in fact, all these are recent because I keep updating them. Almost every day without fail, I see one or two. All right? Woman loses 1.2 million. Cops warn of fake investment ad featuring Elon Musk and Teresa Koch. Any of you seen the one by Robert Koch? There's so many. All these are fake videos that's created. Now, why did they pick all these names? Why Elon Musk? Any of you don't know who is Elon Musk? It's okay if you don't. But they are such prominent names. And that's how they get your attention. One of the red flags that I get when I see something like this is ask myself, is Elon Musk an investment specialist? No, he's not. He's the guy who founded Tesla. What does Tesla do? Manufacturing EVs. So what has it got to do with investment? Same thinking must go through your head for Teresa Koch. Who is Teresa Koch? She's a politician. All right? You don't need to know where where her boundaries are and so forth. You know a politician. What has a politician got to do with investment? Nothing. Drop it. Drop that thought. Move on. See, these are some of the red flags that we must immediately get. I've tried this with some people. They said, maybe they know some tips. They can give me some tips. Oh, I see. That is how they get you, you see. Why would Elon Musk or Teresa Koch give you any tips? That's not their specialization. You want some politics tips? Teresa Koch probably can tell you a lot. You want some EV tips? Elon Musk will tell you a bit. That's not investment. Those are the red flags you must pick up immediately. Malaysian lost a mind-boggling 11.2 billion to scammers, 5 years. Very sad, huh? Can you imagine if this 11.2 billion can go to Pastor Eric for this church? You don't build one church, you build hundreds of churches around the nation. Correct or not? Can you imagine how many Myanmar refugee schools we can build with that? Hundreds. And sustain them for 5 years or more. That is what eats me up. When I see money like this given away to criminals, it eats me up. Because the money can best spend on churches, on helping all these people. Okay, these are the important things that we need to think about. So the country, Malaysia as a country, is doing a lot of things against scam. I know some of you probably don't know this because you are not in this area. So the CCID lady asked me to share because I collect all this. The Digital Economy Group, right, talks about all the initiatives they're doing to go against scam. Okay, a lot. They're monitoring telephone devices. MCMC is involved. There are many government groups are involved to prevent scam. Because scam is such a prevalent, such an insidious problem. Okay, it's not one agency. It takes a lot of effort to bring so many agencies together. Right? In fact, this government is doing more than any of the previous government, just in case you think they're not. Okay, just to give you an idea. graduates being lured with high-paying jobs. This is what exactly I'm very worried about for our young people. I also have a young person in my family. My kid is 25 years old, 26 this year. These are the people who are targeted for these fake job scams. Okay? These are the people in their 20s or late teens. If they cannot study, they'll be out looking for work in their late teens. So what happens after they try for 1 or 2 years and they cannot get anything? Do you think they will fall for one of these fake job scams? Possibly. If you listen to the stories that these people share, it's because they did not have family support. The community didn't come alongside to support them. They cannot find work. So why? Then they decide to go to another country. And that's where they get trapped. All right? So if we all do our part, like what Pastor Alex was talking about, we are part of this jigsaw puzzle to help these young people not go abroad. So if we hear of any young people go abroad, we have to ask them, what is this job? Don't deter them. Don't stop them. Because the minute you stop them, they will definitely go. You need to be curious, be kind, use the fruit of the Spirit with them. Can you tell me more about this job that you want to get in Thailand or anywhere for that matter? It could be in Singapore, by the way. There are scam centers there as well. Why would anyone set up a scam center in Singapore? Anyone? Same reason as why they set up in Dubai. Same. A lot of money going in and out of the country. Singapore is a regional hub for investment for Southeast Asia, just in case you don't know. When there are millions and billions of dollars going in and out, it's very hard for the monetary authorities, right? Like they call it MAS in Singapore, to monitor where all the money are coming in and out from. The more money comes in and out, the harder it is for the authorities to catch these people. So they will set up exactly what you don't expect. And normally the scammers will set up in very expensive condos and all that. They drive massively big, expensive cars for obvious reasons, because that's the kind of money they're getting. Okay, so don't envy these people who drive those expensive Ferraris and all that. For all you know, right, and I'm not trying to say this to hurt anyone in here, right? They could be a scammer, or they could be affiliated with one or a group of them. Okay, so just be very careful. All right? University graduates being promised high-paying jobs, international fraud syndicate. Okay, the more I do investigating on the problem, I realize that it's nationwide, even in Sabah. Cybercrime, particularly online fraud, main contributors to the rise in commercial crime cases, right, in Sabah. If any of you are from East Malaysia, you know the people there are very poor, a lot of very poor people, even worse off than the folks in West Malaysia, in Peninsula. The poorer they are, the worse they are targeted by the scammers, because they want to trick these young people to become scammers. Okay? So, many messages. So, this is a lesson. All right? So, I built them into lessons. By the way, I'm teaching the Myanmarese refugees these things. This is part of my training content that I'm going to teach them. Now, why am I teaching the Myanmarese refugees anti-scam content? Because I want them to reach out to their fellow friends, because they are victims of potentially becoming scammers. And if they can speak good English, I want them to come alongside with me. I don't mind paying them to help me reach more churches and so forth. I can't do it on my own. So if any of you are interested to learn, you want to be able to help others and alert people of scams and so forth, come talk to me, please. So how do I know if they are scams? Okay, let's have a look. Tool number one, okay, as part of this lesson, Microsoft Copilot and ChatGPT can be your WhatsApp contact. Now, for those of you who don't already know, so let me repeat. You can add Microsoft Copilot and ChatGPT as a WhatsApp contact. So you know you send messages to all your friends, right? Just now I just gave my number away to Pastor Alex. So he scanned my QR code, then he gets it, right? So this can be a QR code, or this can be a contact in your WhatsApp. So as soon as you get a scam message, you can forward that scam message to Copilot or ChatGPT and ask, is this a scam? You don't even need to pick up the call and say, hey, Noel, I think I got a scam. Okay? So use AI to combat scam. It's that simple. So you get a message and you're not sure whether it's a scam message. Immediately you forward it to one of these AI who is a WhatsApp contact, and within seconds it will reply. And it's very fast. Very, very fast. It's amazing. So Copilot, the number is this, 1-877-224-1042. So you can add Copilot and ChatGPT as contacts in your WhatsApp. That's straightforward. The best tool to equip you. Now, why am I advocating AI for this purpose? I myself struggle to keep up with scams. Now, I can collectively leverage AI's ability to scan the internet as its knowledge base to help. I'm not limiting it to what I read. I still need sleep at least 6 hours a day. I don't know about you, all right? But because I need that 6 hours a day, the AI doesn't need to sleep, you see? It's technology. And it has an internet range as far as you can see, as far as you can reach. That's how powerful AI can become today. Copilot, ChatGPT. ChatGPT is 1-800-242-8478, 1-877-224-1042. Now, it's very important whenever we add any number into our contact, we want to be absolutely sure this is not a scammer number, right? So we need to test that as well. So I want you to be cautious. Just because Noel says this is safe, you got to do your homework. Okay, you need to do your homework. What if this was a deep fake standing in front of you? How would you know? Most of you are meeting me for the first time, right? So the point I'm trying to teach you is what they taught me in Cybersecurity 101. You cannot trust anything that you see, you hear. That sounds terrible, isn't it? Then what can you trust? The Word of God you can trust. Okay? That's how close you need to be with God if you want to do this kind of thing. All right? If you want to come alongside with me to reach out to help people, I will equip you from the Bible perspective first before I let you out there. Because you will get scammed yourself otherwise. Okay? Now, I want to give you some basics, right, to understand numbers. What is +1 number? So there's a website called countrycode.org. In there you can check. Malaysia is +60, just in case you don't know. Okay? Because most of us only know 012, 013, 018, right? But that's not the country code, that's the phone number. Okay, the country code precedes the phone number. If you want to make an international call, right, the country code number is very important. What is this plus then? What is plus? It's international dialing. You don't see it, you don't hear it anymore. Last time when we used to use the phone that goes, then you hear that toot, 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 toot at the back, right? So that is that plus, okay? So +1 is a US number. So Copilot is from Microsoft. Microsoft is based in Seattle, Washington State. OpenAI is also an American company. OpenAI wrote ChatGPT. So both are American companies. So when you send anything to these two numbers, make sure it's nothing personal, because it's going to go to their large language model. In the AI world, that's the large language model. You don't want sending your personal details like your MyCard number or your bank account number and all this to these places. But if it's a scam message, please by all means send it to them. Add it to the large language model. Let the AI learn all of these things. Okay, we want AI to be instructed on how to fight scam. All right. So one of the latest initiative by the government is this WhatsApp number you can put in, sabana.my. It's very recent. I think this only came out like about a month ago. This is the number. Okay? Doesn't look like a mobile number, does it? Now you cannot tell what is mobile number, what is not mobile number. If you look at it, right, to me it looks like a landline number. But how do you WhatsApp to a landline number? I have no clue. Ask MCMC why they allow this confusion. Because now you cannot tell what is landline and what is not landline. But yet you can WhatsApp. I tried it. The only thing about this number is it always reply in Bahasa. I actually asked them already, can we have English? Can we have Mandarin? Can we have Tamil? Can we have some of the other common languages in our multiracial country? Right? But anyway, give them time. This is new. Okay? It's slow today. This is a very good video.
Ladies and gentlemen, a few days ago, during a meeting in my office, we got to talking about the days of radio, how different it was from television. You see, in radio, we relied heavily on imagination. With just a few words, we could create a whole mood, a whole picture, a picture in your mind. For example, I'd like to play for you a recording of an actual scene that I heard just a few weeks ago on my radio. Don, would you bring out that phonograph, please? Now, this is a recording of a radio program I heard just a few weeks ago. It's a love scene.
John, how could you do this to me?
Cynthia, what is it?
I saw what happened last night at the party. The way Ellen kept staring at you, devouring you with her eyes.
Darling, why would I look at another woman when I've got you? Your hair, your eyes, you're so beautiful.
Oh, I guess I have been foolish. It isn't your fault. You're so tall, so handsome, so attractive to women.
Well, that's what I heard. And now I'd like to bring out the two people who actually did that scene on the radio. Liz Lamont and Rick Barton. Now, tell me honestly, did you picture these two when you heard these words here?
John, how could you do this to me? What happened last night at the party? The way Ellen kept staring at you, devouring you with her eyes.
Darling, why would I look at another woman when I've got you? Your hair, your eyes, you're so beautiful.
Radio really covers up a lot, doesn't it? Now look at, I want you to do me a favor. Oh, Don, would you please bring out that microphone and two scripts? Give them each. They're scripts, that's right. Now, do that scene again, just the way you did it on radio.
John, how could you do this to me? I saw what happened last night at the party. The way Ellen kept staring at you, devouring you with her eyes.
Darling, your eyes, you're so
radio really fooled you more than you thought. Now, thank you very much. You may go now. Oh, by the way, would you take this, sir?
So did all of you get the scam? There's two scams in there. Anyone tell me what is one of them? The first one is obvious, right? In the radio, you don't get to see the actors, the actresses. So it plays on your imagination to imagine who is on the other side that is doing the play. Okay, that's why the commentator was so funny, right? Would you have imagined these two to be the ones playing it out? Okay, that's the first scam, right? Your imagination, it tricked you to think that, wow, must be these two good-looking people, right? Who would have known that you could be people looking like that, okay? Not trying to discriminate looks, but you never imagine the two individuals. Second scam is, did you notice the roles that each one of them played? Who noticed the role reversal? Would you have imagined that? The guy playing the lady playing the guy's role? No one could have imagined. 2 scams happened in one sitting. When I saw this video, immediately I connected with it. I thought this is a classic video but sadly, you need to understand English to appreciate this video. If you don't understand English, if you are Mandarin speaking, and English is not your language that you use regularly, you won't get it. Because I thought this could be a very good one for the Mandarin audience, but they won't understand, right? And translating it won't have the same effect, okay? So there's 2 scams happen in that one. That's why even at the end, the commentator says, "Sir, can you take this away?" All right, referring to the lady, right? So the way they acted this out is amazing. But this is where the scam is. It's exactly like that. You know, the love scam, right, is so scary that someone on the other side can trick you to think that he or she is someone that you want to live with for the rest of your life and give away money. Lots and lots of money. You're talking about 1,000, 2,000, tens and hundreds of thousands, right? That's how the love scam works. It's very sad. That's why the pig butchering scam that you saw at the beginning, the video, right, is about love scam. Right? Love scam, pig butchering scam, the same thing, by the way. Just a slight variation of how they do it.
Lady.
Okay? So if you want to join my groups, all right, I have 2 WhatsApp groups. One is called Security 101. Right? People who want to learn about cybersecurity and all that, they can join that group. This one is Don't Get Scammed. Here we focus only on scams. The one on the right focuses more on generic cybersecurity and so forth. Now, why is there a difference? Because on this side, I have cybersecurity expert friends from the community, the business community that I'm part of, that helps me respond to some of the queries and so forth. I don't profess to know everything. I just need to do the things that God asked me to do, bring my expert friends together to help others. Okay, so we don't need to be experts ourselves. We just need to be part of the jigsaw puzzle, that's it. Like how Pastor Alex has spread it, okay? So, in the rest, I'm going to take you through how this is a global threat, right? Truly, it's a very, very big problem. So, as I was sharing earlier, right, scam and pandemic has become a scamdemic. That's how serious the global problem is. In fact, you can do a search. It is become an so-called like an official word, scamdemic, all right? Now, out of all these countries, right, which country stands out to you? These are countries that have been targeted by scammers in recent years. Singapore, right? That's the nearest country that stands out. And look at the percentage in relative terms to the other countries. Can anyone tell me why the scams in Singapore is so bad? One of the highest, if not the highest in the world. The currency. Many of them are very wealthy. They're rich. Their currency, the exchange rate, the Sing dollars versus the rest in the region is among the strongest. Because they have money, scammers obviously are very attracted to money. Nothing personal, they just want your money. That's how brutal it is. They just want your money. So the richer you are, the richer the country is, the more the scams will attack them. Okay? Now, some of you may have heard about this Setapak. This is the scam factory in Myanmar. Okay? And the people who started them are mainly from China. Have any of you thought why China? Are Chinese such horrible people? Because many of us are ethnic Chinese. Our ancestors came from China, right? Are we that kind of people? Why are they coming out of China and setting up all these scam factories, you think? Think of the current political scene of China. You think the political leaders in China will do anything horrible to these scammers if they are still in the country? They'll probably shoot them, right? No hesitation. The Chinese government are brutal when it comes to penalizing criminals. Not like here, probably go through weeks or years of magistrate court in and out and all that. Right there, bang, yeah, finish. So they have to run out of their country. Because if they are caught in China, game over. There's no negotiation one. The Chinese government, absolutely. Under the current regime, there's death and there's death and there's death if you're caught as a criminal. Right? So that's why they have to escape. That's why the people in Dubai, who are the head honchos in Dubai? Chinese. Because these people cannot operate in their own country. They have to exit out their country to start all these scam factories. Okay, so when I saw the video, it was obvious because I understand the political landscape of the region or around the world. I know why these things are happening and why they choose those countries. Why did they choose Myanmar? Anyone? What's happening in Myanmar? There's war. Okay, the people are very poor. Anyone offers them job, do you think they don't want? Right? So that's the reason. Poor country, they take advantage of the fact there's a civil war in that country and so forth. And that's where they start their operations. Don't forget, even there's no war, they can start their operations here. Right? In the last couple of years, there was a very big Australian scam syndicate operating out of KL. They got busted. If you're interested in that story, come to me. I'll show you. Okay? Now, whenever you get any information from anyone, it doesn't matter how simple it is. Don't just immediately forward. I know the message can say, oh, this one is very good. You know, you want to bless other people. Forward, forward, forward. Don't. Check the source of information. So when I show you stuff, right, I will always reference the source. This one comes from DW. Who is DW? It's a German news agency. Okay? Stands for Deutsche Welle. Welle means world. German world. Okay? This is one of their online agencies. So whenever you get any messages from anyone, please check the authenticity of the message. The reason why I'm asking and pleading this with you is there is an initiative from the government to clamp down on fake news. I don't want you to become a victim of fake news because they will serve a writ to you. You will be called to court at some point. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, it could be the year after. They want to clamp down on all these fake news. It's better that I tell you now, very early days, to prevent you from just forwarding every message that you think is interesting to everyone without checking for authenticity. If you don't know how to check, I don't mind teaching you. I can do a Zoom call, Zoom class or whatever to teach you how to check. Because this is what I learned in uni. And guess how long ago? I did uni in the 80s. Okay? That's how far back ago. God still wants me to do the research now for this work and for my IT work. Okay? So it's very important for you to find out. So Chinese mafia running scam factory in Myanmar. They're running the same thing in Dubai. Okay? I captured all of this so that if they ever bring down the website, at least I still have the link. Okay? There's a lot of this. Very strange.
Scamming has long been part of organized crime worldwide. In Southeast Asia, there are entire office complexes where hundreds of scammers work side by side. But in many cases, the people in these so-called scam factories are actually victims themselves, having been brought there under false pretenses and forced to defraud others. A UN report shows the scale of this modern form of slavery.
Credible sources indicate that at least 120,000 people across Myanmar may be held in situations where they are forced to carry out online scams.
There's a lot more to it, all right? When you get the video, watch it. But I want you to start to realize the scale and how global the problem is. Many a time, this human trafficking is very, very prevalent. In fact, Malaysia is one of the top 10 at one point when I was looking at in terms of a transit point for human trafficking. Malaysia, so sad, our home country can be a transit point for human trafficking. Human trafficking from Australia, New Zealand, right? They fly to Malaysia and from here they take people into Thailand, even into to Middle East and then on to the US and so forth, and Europe as well. So it's a very serious problem. Malaysia is known to be a transit point for human trafficking. So don't be surprised if you see Malaysia being blacklisted for one of the countries, even for tourism purposes. All right, because of this, all right, human trafficking. Okay. Now you got to ask yourself, who is the Telegraph? Okay, so go check, go and do your homework on the source of information. I've done mine, but I just want to alert you, all the things that I put in here have already been checked through, vetted, at least once, if not more. All right, so that you know how important it is in our world to have authentic information. All right. So, who is the Telegraph? It's a British daily broadsheet newspaper. Okay? Of course, they also have to do their homework before they put up an article like this. So, but when we want to re-quote them, because I'm a curator of this content, I need to check my sources as well. So, those of you who want to send stuff to people, please check your source. So, what does this article mean? Rescued piglets back to the pig's pen due to greed. These are the people that Malaysian governments rescued from the Myanmar scam factories. After they came back, because of money, they decided to go back to become scammers. But many of them were tricked into going to the country in the first place. But they got the taste of money. Because some of these people are very hardworking. Malaysians are known to be very hardworking people around the world. Same goes for when they are doing bad things like scamming. So they rise in authority. They become supervisors and managers. They get a cut out of all the money that they get from scams. Now, do you know what happens when you're no longer useful to the scam factories? Anyone knows? They sell you to the body shop. Not body shop for cosmetics. They cut you up, they harvest your organs, they sell to hospitals. Because many hospitals around the region are desperate for organs like kidney and so on and so on. So what happens when they take your kidney out because it's still healthy? They leave you to die. How evil can it get? Are we in the era of the Bible where it talks about these kind of things, and the evil becomes more and more? Book of Revelation. Read that, please. You know why this world is becoming so evil. Truly, when you read the book of Revelation, you know that this is to be expected, and it's only going to get worse. So that's why, do your quiet time, read the Bible, go for Bible meetings and so forth. Immerse yourself with all of that. Okay? Piglets are sold for as high as 100,000. Now, so you think you got a very well-paid job, right? 4,000 to 5,000 US dollars a month. Easy, copy and paste only. When you get into Thailand, they wake you up at about midnight, all right, and they say that I need to take your passport for visa. Once they get your passport, then they come back an hour later with a gun on your head. All right, they will kidnap you and smuggle you into Myanmar from Thailand. There are parts of Thailand that is just a river away from where the scam centers are and so forth. That's how these young people get tricked into going to Myanmar. Not because they wanted to go in the first place. Of course, you saw the piglet scenario. After they had the taste of money, because of greed, they decided to go back. Right? That's how sad and how scary the situation is. Now, who is Focus Malaysia? Because I got this article from Focus Malaysia. Right? It's an English business weekly. All right? So, all the information that you see, if you go to talks and so forth, right, I urge you to validate. My own wife got scammed 100,000 a few years ago. Right? They were selling properties in Germany. It's a property scam. Even invited me. Back then, I didn't know much about scams. Asked me to sit through the talks. Of course, they had all these fictitious investment and property building and all that. But we didn't know how to use the knowledge that I had from uni days and all that. But see, God led me one step of the way. All right, one step at a time. And then eventually I can do all of this. It's so easy. It's like reliving my university days. All right. So the point is, you need to check your information. So this verse is very important. When you have someone potentially come into your vicinity who's been to one of these scam centers, they were a victim. Even though they may have a tendency to want to go back because they cannot get work here, please have grace and compassion on them. Okay, as followers of Christ, our job is not to be a Pharisee, to throw the first stone. You understand what I'm saying now? Just remember, right, the Bible is an awesome book we can learn a lot from. Okay? And this spoke to me when I saw that article, because truly, if we don't forgive and love these people, do you think God will love us and forgive us of our sins? So this is something that we need to speak to ourselves. And when I saw the article, God spoke to me. You need to share this with the people who come to your session, because in some point in time, they will meet someone who was probably a former scammer, or maybe have intent to harm them. As a follower of Christ, we need to show compassion and grace. Okay? So, 3 different hats, as I was promising: white hat, black hat. I think that's obvious, right? If white hat is the good people with skills to stop hacking and scamming, black hats are the bad ones. What are the gray hats? Anyone? Use your imagination. If you mix white and black, you get gray, right? So sometimes you're good, sometimes you're bad. Does that speak to some of us? So I'm here during the day telling you about how to prevent scam. Nighttime, I'm scamming people. That's one possibility, right? So a hacker who uses his or her skills for good is a white hat, but after hours, they use it for bad, they're black hat. So they label those people gray hat. Okay? Now, they caught one in Canada recently. I was following some news. Right? This person works for IT in a telco. How many of you know the term telco? Telco are people like Maxis, Cellcom, DG, right? Time, right? These are all telcos, right? So during the day, he's an IT person. You know what access of information does an IT person in a company like that has? Your email, your billing information, your credit card information. So he took all this information, at night time when he's at home, he uses this to steal. Okay, now some of us probably knew about this kind of story already, right? Where did they get my information from? It's leaked from all these telcos. But they had a gray hat in their organization, unknown to them. Okay, so now you know how information gets leaked, right? They call it data breach. Okay, so just to give you some ideas on the terms. So let's focus on this gray hat a little bit, yeah? So what are gray hats? They are wolves in sheep clothing. You can't tell them from me or anyone else. Just looking at us, the way we dress, we will never be able to tell. That's why God spoke to me. I'm reading the book of where Solomon is, right, taking over from King David. Okay, you see how he has to eliminate all these people from the previous, right, ruling, even though they were his father's right hand, left hand individuals and so forth, because they can become the wolves in sheep clothing for his own ruling. So a lot of these things that I'm getting out of this anti-scam, I can get it from the Bible. I'm seeing it coming alive from the Bible, even through some of the books and verses that I'm reading. Okay, so this is a scamming arrest that you saw, all right? Now, another scam that has become very, very serious is called quishing. It's nothing to do with quish, all right? It's nothing to do with phishing, all right? It's QR code phishing. Now, how many of you have been to a restaurant where you have to scan this QR code in order to even get a menu or place an order? I urge you, don't do it anymore if you can. Boycott them. And see what happens. You tell them, I've got a very big wallet, but I don't want to scan. Cannot. You know what that means, right? I want to eat in your restaurant, but I don't want to scan your QR code. They will figure out how to give you a menu. Why? Let's say I'm a gray hat. I frequent that place, I sit at that table, and every time I go, I sit at different tables. After I scan already, I replace the QR code with my own. Once I scan the QR code, I get the website of the restaurant. I can clone their restaurant website in under 5 minutes and make it my own website. And whatever you put in there, I can read in real time. Real time means as you type in, I can see it. And I can use that information to attack you. And one of the attacks that they have successfully done with the phishing is, after you scan already, you order everything, okay? The person in real time is picking up your details, and the restaurant is also getting the information. So they got the order, they got a copy of your order. Unknown to you, I start adding more orders in. But this order is Grab food sent outside. So I ordered on your bill, added to your existing bill. So let's say you ordered 6 dishes. I ordered another 6 dishes. So when you go up to pay, how come the bill is so expensive? What's all this? I didn't order all this. Then the lady at the checkout says, yeah, this order was using your table ID and all that. Scary, huh? That's what a grey hat can do. That's what a black hat can do. Just to give an idea of the nature of the scam. So who didn't get that? Okay, let me repeat this very quickly. So let's say I'm a grey hat, right? I visit the same restaurant that I know you frequent. Why? Because you talk about it on your Facebook. So I go and visit that restaurant. So I scan the QR code. Hey, it goes to this website. I can clone this website in 5 minutes. Then after I leave, I replace the QR code with my own QR code. The QR code sends you to my website, which is a clone of the restaurant website. As soon as you fill in the information, you fill in the restaurant's website as well. I make sure that that's side by side. You don't know any different. You fill in my website, but then my website will put in the same information to the restaurant website, and your order arrives, but I added extra dishes to your order. While you're eating, you don't know all that is happening until you go and pay. Then you're wondering how come you have so much to pay when it should not have been so. Then every day I go, I sit at a different table. Now you start to understand how the hacker thinks, right? Why am I sitting at different tables? So I can replace all the QR codes of all the tables with my own QR code. That's how the hackers think. This is what the training taught me to become a good white hat. And it has to be grounded on the Word of God. Otherwise, it's very tempting and very easy to stray. Yes, sir?
What about Indonesian payment?
Yes. Okay, the question is this. What happens to our information when we make a payment, like touch and go payment, for example? Okay, now if you ever have to use your touch and go, I urge you to do this. Normally on that QR code that you scan, there's a name on it, right? Okay, normally the name of the merchant. Let's say you go to your regular merchants, you know the name, right? But don't take for granted. You scan already, you turn it around and says to the lady or the guy at the till and says, is this your name? Yes, it is. You key in, you want to pay, right? Before you pay, you ask, this is it, pay. Then ask them to check. You get the payment not? You got it? Okay, good. I want the receipt. Walk out. If you don't do these checks, it's possible the QR code has been replaced by this phishing. You thought you're paying to the merchant, but actually it wasn't. You're paying to the hacker's own e-wallet. You understand what I'm saying now? By the way, this is very rampant in India. Why? Because in India, their e-wallet is very advanced, just like China. All the night markets and all that also have it. Okay? We haven't quite got there. So there's a lot of all these smart investment information and all that. Have you been scammed? They teach you cancel future transaction, keep records of all information. Just think, right? If you go to a normal grocery shop, why do you want the receipt? It's to prove. If you need to actually go to Touch and Go and say that I've been scammed, you have proof. You need the paper trail. I know it's tedious, That is one of the few things that you can do on your side. Now the question is, do they get your information? When you scan the QR code, the phishing, if somehow this actually goes to a malicious website. What's a malicious website? What's the word malicious means? Website belonging to someone who intend harm. It's that wolf in sheep clothing, if you want. Right? And they download an APK into your phone. Now what is an APK? How many of you use Apple phone here? You're an iPhone user. Okay, that's very few of us. So the rest of you using Android, you probably don't even know you're using Android, right? You're using Samsung or Oppo, Huawei, all of these are Android phones. Android phones of all kinds use a file format called APK. Okay, stands for Android Package Kit. It's the file format for the applications that run on an Android phone. Okay, now why is this phone so, in your mind, weak in terms of security? It's because of this thing called site loading. Site loading basically means instead of you going to an official Google Play Store to download the app, you're going to the hacker's alternate Play Store if you want, or a file share. It's that simple. It could be a Google file share, it could be a OneDrive share, it could be a Dropbox share, it could be any share. They put their malicious app in there, but they got you through the clicking of the link or through a QR code that you scan. So if I replace the vendor's QR code with my own, instead of taking you to Touch and Go, I take you to a malicious website, and down came an APK into your phone, and blindly you you just accept, okay, go away. Last time I scanned didn't have this one. Why are you here? The app goes inside your phone. Now they can record everything that you're doing. Not only that particular transaction is gone, right? Any of your banking transactions, they will be able to read everything, including your PIN and so forth. All right. So these are some of the very serious problems when the APK gets into. Don't get tempted by all these free gifts or discounts and whatever, especially during such times. Now is Hari Raya season. A few months ago was Chinese New Year, and before that was Christmas and so on. Seasonal activities are the highest in terms of scams. You see that if you monitor the scams, whenever there's any seasonal activity, the scam shoots through the roof and comes down again. Why? They take advantage of all this festivity. You want to make your money stretch, right? Buy more with less money, right? And that's exactly how they get you. So they will offer you things that's ridiculous in terms of value. All right? So these are some of the things that you needed. Catering scam. Food catering. My wife just gave me a catering advertisement. I want to check to see whether it's a scam or not. So sad, huh? People give you something that's authentic, you immediately think it's. So it's like, once you're trained like me, right? Everything is until proven innocent is not. Okay? It's false until proven innocent, or until proven real, if you want to think of it from that perspective. Right? Sounds really, really nasty, right? So, one scam that I want you to think about, all right? All kinds of names. It's not necessarily a Chinese name like this. There's so many. I just want to show you that the police is doing something. They are crippling some of these scams. Why I show you this is because the deputy director of CCID says, you need to help balance the information sharing. Most of the time people talk about how bad the situation. No one talks about successes. Successes don't sell newspapers, as they call it. Bad news sells newspapers. Did you hear that before? Bad news sells newspapers. Those are the days when we read newspapers. Today, bad news attracts our attention, like the earthquake that happened in Myanmar that affected Bangkok and all this. But when it comes to good news, no one celebrates. The Bible is a classic good news. We need to celebrate. Okay? This is the director of CCID, this guy, Dato' Ramli. Okay? If any of you have a friend or family member that has reported to police, and now months later nothing has happened, ask the person to follow up. If they follow up a few times, nothing is happening, escalate it over to me. We have someone in SIB that is a buddy to this guy. And you know what happens when he escalates it to Dato Ramli? All Dato Ramli will do is he go up to the, they call it IO, investigating officer. He says, can you have a look at this? And next thing you know, your case starts to move. That's all he does, huh? Okay. But it has to be a very serious case. Serious in what sense? No police action for months and months despite follow-up. Right? The higher the amount, the more serious it gets. And by the way, that couple that I told you about that had the 700,000 loss in that particular scam, when I escalated this to my friend who's the deputy director, you know what she said? Oh, this is the smallest one. My heart almost sank. So I said to her, you didn't tell this to the couple, right? She kept quiet. Oh, I'm like thinking to myself, you lose 700,000, the police officer you report to says, yours is the smallest. How heartbreaking, right? Can you imagine, right? Okay, so I need to wrap up since we are running out of time. All right, let me just go through a couple more and then we'll finish. Okay, I'm going to finish with a couple of videos, all right, so that you can understand the nature of scam, all right? Just to lighten up a little bit. Scam. You understand not? Now, if I didn't show you the last few seconds word, you probably think, wow, this is better than Lee Chong Wei, man. You know, every hit can go inside that container, right? That's scam. Literally. That's how easy it is for a scam to operate. Okay, one more. For some reason, my machine is very slow today. I don't even know whether it's going to start or not.
An event, seen from one point of view, gives one impression. Seen from another point of view, it gives quite a different impression. But it's only when you get the whole picture you can fully understand what's going on.
Do you understand that? See, both video to me spoke volume because it gave me an understanding of how people look at a scene. Many a time we look at a scene because of our experience, all right, and what we have gone through in the past, we see things very differently. So that's why my session has got a lot of all these videos, because different videos will speak differently to each one of you. Right? Perspective is everything when it comes to scamming. They play on your mind. They try to trick you into things that you don't expect. Okay, so what are some of the resources available? Right, I have an AI group. I call it World with ChatGPT. It started not long after ChatGPT was released in November 2022. Right, in this group we talk about anything to do with AI, not specific to ChatGPT. As mentioned earlier, the reason why I go into AI is to help me combat scam. Now, just to tell you also, the scammers are using AI big time to scam us. So it's a tool that can be used for both good and bad. Okay, so the question is, if you don't use it, what is the consequence? Wait for more scams to affect you, and your ability to protect yourself will diminish over time. Because whatever you learn 6 months down the road probably won't apply anymore because the modus operandi has changed. And I'm not here 6 months from now to share the new message with you again. To help yourself, being part of the group, you get updated regularly. Okay, my team is all trained on AI, just to share with you. Just to summarize, I just want to share with you all the Bible verses that I've collected that can help us. Okay, Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed from lack of knowledge. So I'm glad that you're here to learn, all right, and to learn how to use Bible verses effectively, even to defend yourself, right, against wolves in sheep clothing if you want. The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, John 10:10. Matthew 7:15, watch out for false prophets. These are classic investment scams. They come in to teach you how to invest, but slowly but surely, after they gain your trust, they will trick you to go into cryptocurrency investment, and that's where they take all your money away. Okay. Now the other one is Jesus spoke while on the cross, showing unimaginable forgiveness and love. This is about people that you know that used to be scammers that may be trying to relive their life as a good person, and they're trying to look for work, for example. Do not give the devil a foothold. Remember that cow that was poking the crocodile? Okay? Don't give it a foothold. Run to God, run from evil. Okay? So, how about information that you can use? You got the Security 101 group, you got the World with ChatGPT group, 997, right? The NSRC, right? The National Scam Response Center. This is under CCID, under PDRM, okay? This is, they also have this Jangan Kena Scam, right? ChatGPT, Copilot, and Sabina.my WhatsApp group, okay? So these are some resources that you can use to help you, right, to prevent scam. Okay? By the way, a lot of these are found on public websites. Okay, I'm just curating them to give you an idea, right, what is available. Like these are all from public bank, but it's from many of the other banks as well. Okay. All right, thank you so much. I'll pass you back to Pastor Eric.